welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. My name is Lady Dr. Price, and here we talk about all things health and wellness so that you can live well and lead by example. So today I'm going to do a book review, but before I start with the book review, I'm going to shout out my mom really quick. Thank you, Mom, for the new microphones and the beautiful birthday message, as well as the phone tripod. I really appreciate that, especially starting out. So, shout out to my mom. And then to get into the book review. So, today we're talking about Love After Heartbreak. This is volume 1 by Stéphane Labossiere. So, just to give a little bit of information about Stefan, he is a relationship coach. You might have seen him on social media. He has his own, podcast and Instagram and everything. He goes by Stefan Speaks. And I had actually met him in person with Dr. Bobby Price when I went to their tour, Heal My People tour, a little bit over a year ago. Yeah, and he even got the book signed, so that was really cool as well. Um, so yeah, it's a great book. I would highly recommend it personally, especially as the year starts off. I think it would actually make a great Valentine's Day gift as we creep up on Valentine's Day, depending on when I post this. But the title is a little bit misleading in the sense that, and he talks about this in the book, in the sense that the first volume is more focused on healing after heartbreak. The second volume apparently is more focused on the actual love after heartbreak. So I have not read that one yet, but I recommend this book, especially because it's important to heal first, which I can totally agree with him on, because as he mentions in the book multiple times, hurt people, and that is very true. So just to kind of end the cycle of hurting people, to end the pain cycle, the trauma cycle, it's important to stop it with you and your actions. So he takes you through, several exercises. First, he starts off the book by saying how not to heal from heartbreak by getting under someone, basically. And then he also kind of goes through like an outline of, what it'll be like to go through the process. He calls it I believe it's the Stefan Speaks healing method is what he calls it. Um, and so he goes through like, the results that are possible for you, what you may go through while going through this healing process. Maybe even some side effects that may happen at the time, but so he outlines that in the beginning. Um, he also discusses, like the importance of healing before getting into a relationship and what have you. So, let's see what else was there. So he discusses the fact that it's not only important to heal from the heartbreak of like a romantic relationship, it's important to heal all of the heartbreaks. So he not only starts here, he also goes underneath the surface to really dig in to all of your prior relationships. So that includes like your parents, that includes extended family members, siblings, friends. So yeah, he addresses all of that, which I really appreciate because all of those heartbreaks culminate into your perspectives on life. So it's important to address those before moving on in any of your relationships. So the book is only 175 pages long. It's like very small. Really, you can read it in probably about a week, but it took me about 3 to 4 weeks to get through like all of the exercises and everything. Um, so give or take, it may take you more or less, but basically, without giving too much away, he takes you through this process of first listing out all the people who have hurt you. Um, yeah, so basically, he says that no matter if you thought you got over it or anything, or oh no, that was just a small thing, whoever pops up and comes to mind is who you write down on that list. Now, do you proceed with the whole process? It's kind of sort of up to you with that person, but it's important to get them all down on paper. And then the second part of the healing method is to actually write a first draft of a letter, basically spilling your guts kind of to this person, almost if you were like just to no holds barred, um, just really go in on how that person hurt you. Um, yeah, so there's like no real rules to that one. It's just like release all the stuff. So as nice as the releasing process is, as relieving as it kind of is, it's also a very grievous process, I will tell you, because it's very raw. So I say that in the sense that you mentally and emotionally are going back to that hurt to describe everything and to release everything. So that part of the process is difficult, but very necessary to just release all of that. It's kind of like putting what was put on your plate back onto the other person's plate. Because the thing with pain, you know, when it's not just you involved, it's not just your responsibility. So it's also shifting that responsibility, not so much, blaming or pointing fingers, that's not the point, but shifting that responsibility to say, hey, I'm going to share this with you because you're the person that caused this pain. Um, so yeah, that's the first, kind of the first and second parts of it. And then the next portion of it is actually to take a different colored pen, because you're handwriting all this. I would imagine that you could type it out. Me personally, I like went back and forth on whether or not I should type it or handwrite it. Um, Personally, I hand wrote everything. It was just more of a real process to me, if that makes sense. It was a little more personal in that sense for me to handwrite versus typing. Um, so yeah, um, you take a different color pen and you basically correct. It's not really correcting, but you're editing the first draft, and not just for grammatical errors and everything like that, but it's so that when you write your second draft, because you're supposed to write a second one, you are addressing the issues, addressing the pain directly and clearly, but you're also not pointing fingers. So the second draft is more you coming at the pain in a more empathetic manner and realizing how you were hurt, but addressing it in the sense that's not continuing the hurt process, if that makes sense. The whole point is for you to end the hurt, for you to squash it, but as well as share the responsibility of the pain that was caused to you. So, yeah, you make those edits, you write the second draft, and after the second draft, you take a moment to pray over the letters, because the last step is to send the letters out. You're actually mailing the letters to the people. Again, I did this process all by hand wrote the letters, sent them physically. I recommend sending them physically, not in an email, if you can. He didn't actually mention the sending it in an email, but it did cross my mind. I recommend sending it physically, because just like journaling, it's important to bring things kind of into the physical realm, if that makes sense. um, Making it more real, and in a sense, reducing it. Um, you send the letters out, but you pray over the letters before you send them. And throughout the whole process, because it is a healing focused process, you are praying and meditating throughout the whole thing. Um, so yeah, and then even after the letters, he goes through like how you determine if you should or should not send a letter to someone, how to deal with the letters if it's to somebody who's already deceased. Um, yeah, so I won't go into all those details because that is his book. and I want you to go and read it, go by and support. Um, so yeah, and then even after the letter writing process, he takes you through another process even further to further heal. So it's the process after that is addressing your negative perceptions on whatever aspect in life, whether it's on relationships or, different perspectives on everything. So he also addresses that. I'm not going to go into detail, but buy the book. Buy the book. So yeah, pretty much covered everything. Um, and again, this video is just an overview of what the book offers. You have to get the book so that you can actually go through the full process, the whole guided process, and it's just another great tool, just like therapy, in my opinion. It's another great tool to handle the healing journey, the healing process, um, and a tool that you can use in the future. So, which, speaking of therapy, I do recommend, if you have gone through heartbreak, I don't know which ones of us have not, if you have lived life at all, you've probably gone through something. So I do recommend going out and getting a good therapist. There's no shame in it. I know that there is a stigma, especially for people of color. I have experienced that stigma and I have gone to therapy. So I am an advocate to tell people, go ahead and do it. You can get people, you can get a therapist of color, you can get a, woman therapist, a man therapist, whoever makes you feel most comfortable. And if you're not used to all that, it's gonna be awkward in the beginning. Just kind of overcome that and do what you have to do. Because if you get a good therapist, they can give you more tools to, again, not only heal from past hurts, but tools that you can use in your present and in your future. Because the thing with life is that pain is going to be there. It's just a part of life. We have ups, we have downs. But how you deal with it is going to be important moving forward. And hopefully, on your healing journey, you're getting better with dealing with certain, issues and pains and what have you. So I do recommend getting a good therapist. And I say a good therapist because there are good therapists who actually are passionate about their work, um, who care about you and what they do. And to be perfectly honest, there are not so good therapists who are literally there for a paycheck. So it's something that you have to kind of use your own discernment and decipher. Not just your own discernment. You can get recommendations from friends or loved ones or, whoever. That's what I did. So yeah, go and do that. Start there. Just get started. Um, yeah. So I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, so this is a good way to start the year. Therapy, Love After Heartbreak, Volume 1. Go check him out. Go get his book. Maybe buy it for your loved ones for Valentine's Day. And just to give, as I always do at the end of these book reviews, I give 5 quotes that I liked from the book. So I'm going to give those to you. And the first one is, even though it doesn't feel good, heartbreak is the best reset button for your life. It's the opportunity for rebirth you've been waiting for. Perspective change. I love that. The second one was, however, moving past hurt and healing are 2 different things. You're not resolving anything when you move past things in your mind. You're just suppressing your issues. The third one of the biggest disservices you can do to yourself and even your children is try to shield them from getting hurt. The fourth one is, many people think that forgiving someone is a decision made once in your mind and that's it. Another common misconception people have is they equate forgiveness with acceptance. And the final quote that I love from this book is, projecting negativity onto current situations because of what you've already been through can cause you to miss your blessings. Fantastic quote to end this video with. And yeah, hope y'all enjoyed that. And I've got even more in the arsenal to go ahead and review. So I will see y'all in the next ones, and I'll see you later, love.